Hello and welcome to Plot Twisters.
This is a podcast where we take movies and twist the plot to see if we can make them better, and if not, more pumped up.
At the moment, we're talking about teen movies from the 90s.
On this episode, it's Pump Up the Volume from 1990.
I'm Anders, and remember, I can smell a lie like a fart in a car.
I'm Emma. All the great themes have been used up and turned into theme parks, which is a quote that I am going to print out and put on my wall because I love it.
It's very you.
Very me, yes. Simulations! It's all a simulation. Nothing is real. We're just living in a simulation of a simulation of a simulation.
What?
Yes.
Hey, what's your favorite theme park?
Legoland, obviously. Do you like how I didn't even just think about that at all?
You had that holstered,
yeah,
and the safety was not on.
Locked
you
and
were
loaded.
ready to go. Bam!
How about you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I like
Why don't you just know?
that one with where they have the rides, and you must be this big to go on them. I like theme parks, but I'll be honest with you. The last time I went to a theme park, I went there with my brother, and we were like, let's go to Dorney Park and some roller coasters. Let's go ride some roller coasters because we're like fun and we're young and we can do it. And we went and we packed some sandwiches, and then we went and we rode on 3 roller coasters, and then we had to sit on a bench for a long time because both of us felt really sick.
Oh, yeah, that old motion sickness.
Yeah. We walked around for like 20 more minutes. And
The
I
Dark
said, "Do you want to just go
Mistress."
home?" And he goes, let's go home. So we went home. True story. But I'm still wicked bad.
Would you like me to pull out a little fact about my life from my magic hat of random trivia?
Yes, that's why we do this podcast. So you can dig deep into that magic hat of yours.
Here we go. Whoop. I used to work in a theme park.
Whoa, really?
Yeah.
Were you one of those people that wears like a costume of a character? Were you Donald Duck? Daisy
yes.
Duck?
No, I wasn't. I worked in the food bit. It was, let me tell you, it was such a good job.
That's cool.
It was such a good job.
I have 4 questions about your job, if that's okay.
Okay.
Question number 1.
And then we'll do the movie.
And then we'll do the movie. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Did you get to ride the roller coasters for free? Question
Yes.
1. Okay. Question 2. Did you get to ride the rides either before regular people were there or after hours? Please say after hours.
After hours.
Question number 3. Was riding a roller coaster after hours with no other muggles around the best thing that ever happened in your life? Was it? Because I bet it was.
I don't know. Would you like to know why? I don't know.
You never did it?
Because I never did it.
Why? Because you felt sick like me when you roller coasters?
Well, there's 2 answers. One of them is more sensible than the other. But yeah, I also suffer from motion sickness, and I'm a bit of a wuss.
Plus, you puked on that guy that time, didn't you? All over the place.
Pukey Mc rides no coasters is what they used to call me. But also, I usually had to get home because I had a long commute. That was the more sensible reason. But let's go with the big scaredy cat thing.
Both aren't great. I mean, I would be. Let's get real for a second, right? I don't judge you for a second. Like I said, I rode 3 roller coasters and thought I was going to die from motion sickness. Having said that, it's a bit like, you know that thing where if you own a really cool, edgy, leather jacket, right?
Uh-huh.
Which
I do.
Even because you do. Yeah, I imagine you have a whole walk-in of just very edgy, leather.
Oh, you have no idea.
And one day we'll unpack that together. I think that even if you own this really fancy, edgy leather jacket, even if you never wear it in public, it's no shade because you own it, right? You didn't ride the rides, but you could have. And
I could have. That's
badass.
a kind of power in its own. What I will say is that was when I was younger,
Mm-hmm.
so like 19ish. I've ridden roller coasters as a more grown up, and it's fine now.
Oh, you're fine.
So
now. It's fine.
yeah, I don't know why, but it's fine now. So give it a whirl.
Hey,
although not
man,
now,
because like Christian Slater would say, so be it. Am I
yeah,
right? Am I right?
Yeah, you're so right. So
Hey, so
this movie,
we watched a movie.
yes, we did.
Yep.
Shall I run through my interpretation of? Shall I give you a recitation of my understanding of the plot of the film Pump Up the Volume?
Go for it. What happened in Pump Up the Volume?
It's a story about a guy. He moves to a small town from a big town, which, as I understand it in American culture, is a huge cavernous distance in terms of experience of life.
Yep, I guess.
Right?
Well, you know.
Just a small town girl, etc. So he moves to a small town.
Just
he joins
a
this
city boy. Sorry. You can't just...
There was a delay there.
I was playing it in my head, and then I got to the part I really wanted to sing. I paused it.
I was stood there with my fishing rod, and I was just going woo, and I flung it out, and then you're the fish in the sea,
I might
and you're
not
just
bite, but just you can't just casually mention Journey without me just ripping it. But I'm not going to because he moves from the big city to small town. Right.
Yeah, and then there's this singer in a smoky room,
Smell of
and there's
wine?
like the smell of wine and cheap perfume.
Yeah.
And he took the midnight train going anywhere. There's a guy. He moves from a big town to a small town. He joins a school. The school is very academically prestigious. Apparently.
Ooh, apparently.
In reality, it's run by a bad egg.
Yeah.
So the headmistress is like a bit,
Bad.
she's not great, and she's essentially been like weeding out the bad students. Well, not bad students, the students who have lower grades.
The undesirables.
Yeah, she has ways to get rid of them, in order to maintain the school's like good records, and it's not actually that they're an amazing school.
Yep.
So this kid, Mark, he sees through this, and it's also there's an extra dimension, which is that his dad is I think he was an education commissioner.
Yeah, he's like the boss of the schools, I think. He's one of the big bosses of the schools.
Like the food inspector, but for like schools, I think. Something
exactly.
like that.
Something's
you know what I mean?
gone off, and he's about to find the bad coleslaw behind the stove.
Exactly.
Don't
so
eat
there's that dimension to it as well. But the key thing is that this guy, Mark, he's given a radio so that he can speak to his friends back home, but what he does instead is he sets up a pirate radio station, and he gives himself a name, which is Hard Harry. And a lot of the film is him kind of monologuing into the radio station.
Right.
Over time, this sort of picks up. Other students start listening. He's like dropping a lot of truth bombs, and eventually sort of starts like a mini revolution in the school, I think it's fair to say.
Yeah.
Like, he points out what's wrong with the school, and all the other students kind of get on board with it.
Yeah.
And he also has a bit of a love story with a listener of the radio.
Yeah.
And it's all very anarchic towards the end. So I want to address a point straight away.
Okay.
Which is that I think the title of this film is very misleading.
Yeah. Why is that?
I thought I was going to watch a film about dance music.
Oh,
Don't
because it's loud.
Well, but it's called Pump Up the Volume. Like,
Right.
that to me suggests music.
Did you go into this movie not knowing anything about it at all, other than it's called
No.
Pump Up the Volume?
Nothing.
That's awesome. This is why I
I'm-
continue to love doing this podcast, because I keep sending you movies that I've seen 1,000 times that you've never heard of, and I love it so much. And I know that power and that control and that feeling of joy will fade when finally we flip it, right?
Yes. And I ruin your life.
And that's fine.
And I wreak revenge on you.
That's fine. People have wreaked revenge on me before and havoc. And I've lived
Wrath, yeah.
to play another game, to live another day, to live to step up to the streets. Wrath as well. It's all happened at me, and letter bombs. I'm fine. I'm invincible, right?
I can tell.
I watch movies. I'm inevitable. Get it? Right? Right? I'm Iron Man.
Yes.
I'm barely even an extra in those movies, to be really honest with you. But for some reason, I still stand. But yes, one day we'll flip it. But in the meantime, yet again, this is a movie that I'm really curious to hear what you thought about it. The title was misleading. What else did you think?
I thought it was very interesting. Here's the headline. I thought it was very interesting. I don't know that it was my cup of tea as such.
Yeah.
I'm interested to know if you can kind of guess why, based on what we've talked about in the past.
Reasons that this wasn't for you?
Yeah.
All right. I think there's a couple. Do you want me to? All right. Here's a couple of things. First is, it's a movie that was super relatable to me in the 90s.
And as we know, we've concluded I hated you in the 90s, apparently.
You're such a jerk. No, here's why you probably didn't like it. One, because it is there's a lot of sad stuff in it. There's a no.
It doesn't really bother me. I can
Right, okay.
I can jam with sad.
There wasn't a lot of character development.
Ooh, interesting.
Because he didn't. I mean, other than the fact that Mark got a girlfriend in the end, right? He didn't really develop that much. His whole movement, he didn't even really understand until the very end, and I don't really think he understood it. Is it because it was a movie that was about it assumed you knew a lot about a cultural component, like what it's like to be a teenager in a school in the 90s that is artificially propping up test results and but actually you're not a kid in the 90s. Is that why you didn't like it? Is it because you don't like Christian Slater? Is that why it is?
I don't know. I think I could make some time for Christian Slater.
All right.
Sometime. I think the last point you raised there, I think I would say it is quite time specific, but not as much as some of the other films that we've watched so far. Sure. I think you can get on board with it as an outsider. There's an interesting element, which is the technology part, which, to me as a young person who grew up, with an IV drip of internet, it is a bit weird to sort of imagine listening to the radio and speaking on the landline and stuff. Interesting.
That's so weird. None of that fazed me, but you know.
Well, that's because you're old. I mean, that's because you were there. Sorry.
You can use the O word. It's fine. I'll forget it soon. I didn't take my brain pills today. So.
I'm just getting all it in while I can, because I'm going to be 30 soon, and then I can't make fun of anyone for being old. So,
the march.
Anyway. Yeah, I think there's some bits of it which were time specific. I would say I think there was character development. I think this was a very character driven movie rather than a plot driven movie.
Yes.
So if you were to outline the plot beats, they are few and far between. It is primarily one character talking into the radio. Right. We get a lot of insight into what he's like, and how his relationship with the radio, what he uses it for as well, I would say. But because it's kind of just him, and then we have the girl for a bit as well, and then we have a few people in the background, I would say that the total summation of character development was small because it was so focused.
Sure.
So yeah, for me personally, I do like a good twisty plot that's lots of stuff happening. So I think that was the thing that slightly distanced me from it. But that's not to say I didn't think I thought it was bad. I thought it was good and it was interesting. A comparison film I think I would make. I don't know if you've seen the film Joker at all. I don't think it. I don't think it would
As
be.
in the Joker from the Batman movies.
It is the Joker from the Batman movie, yeah. But it's the film is just called Joker, and it's by Todd Phillips, and
No.
there's no Batman in it, so it's literally just a film about a guy. I don't think you'd like it because it's quite full on. It's quite sad. It's quite upsetting. I actually found it really upsetting.
You found it upsetting? Then I'm out.
Yeah,
I'm out.
But it's a really, really powerful film about like social mobility.
Is that movie when there's a famous scene where he goes down the set of stairs and then those stairs are famous now?
Yeah, he dances down the stairs.
And everybody's going to look at these stairs and they're in like Scotland or something.
Yeah, how weird is that?
Yeah,
that
guess what?
Happen?
I know nothing about that movie, but I know a lot about those stairs.
About the stairs, yeah. But yeah, so it kind of reminded me of that film, which was a very kind of popular and applauded film because it's about the power of a single voice to like disrupt and cause havoc and essentially get people to break out of a crafted system and start challenging things and find their own voices. So weirdly, even though that's a film from like flipping nearly 30 years later, it reminded me of that a lot somehow.
Right. That's
and also because that he had that like radio persona, it kind of reminded me of like the Joker persona. And it also kind of made me think of like superheroes, like like Clark Kent and stuff. They
because he's got two personalities.
Shy day look and then a crazy night look.
A completely unbelievable difference. If you will. How can someone who is so confident on the radio and so crude and rude and does some stuff that like it's some raunchy stuff on the old dial, and then at school he can't even talk to some girl, or his teacher or anybody or whatever. What's that about?
I mean, if I was writing an analytical essay on this, I might make the argument that I feel like this is a bit of like a male fantasy, in the sense of like if you were quite an insecure, nerdy guy, you might fantasize about the idea of having a really confident, like brash alter ego that you can kind of like hide in. And all these kids at school, they think I'm this like quiet dweeb, but they don't know that I'm really this confident guy in the background. Do you know what I mean? Does that make?
Does that open up an entire? Does that shine an intense spotlight on the reason why when I was like 16 years old I loved this movie so much? Yes, of course.
I nailed it?
So is that why you didn't like this movie? I mean, is that the thing that?
No, that doesn't put me off it at all. I just think that's interesting. Like I said, I think it was the lack of the less extreme plot for me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Do you want to know? So I've seen this movie a lot. I first saw this movie when I was like 12, which I feel like I shouldn't have seen it when I was 12. So I was a little too young for it.
Yeah, probably not.
But I remember my cousin who was babysitting us for like a weekend or something. She goes, "Oh, you should watch this. It's my favorite movie." And then we were watching it. She went, "Oh, you probably shouldn't watch this." Oh, well. And I remember watching it and thinking, this is the coolest movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Here's a guy, which I now realize is a male fantasy, but I was like a kid and then it grew into my, teen years. This guy's got his own, setup downstairs. He has a lock on his door. He's got a pirate radio station. He smokes cigarettes. He's a girl. He meets a girl.
Cool girl with a cool haircut.
Yeah, who's a poet and draws, does paintings and stuff.
Yeah, and also has a very overly sexual mouth. Did you notice that? She's like,
yes,
got her mouth hanging open all the time.
Yeah, it's
I was like, girl, it's gonna get a fly in there or something.
Close your mouth.
Sorry,
there's a dust storm coming your way. No,
carry on talking about the inner workings of your mind.
Point is, I saw it when I was really young, and then as a teenager, it really resonated with me in a very Holden Caulfield kind of a Catcher in the Rye vibe, I suppose. Watching it for the podcast, and I haven't seen it in years. I still really liked it because I realized now, as we've covered a lot, I watch these movies and I haven't seen them since I was a kid, and all of a sudden I understand the plot of the movie when before I just thought the things in the movie were cool, right?
Yeah.
So I didn't really understand the plot of bad principal falsifying, numbers, kicking kids out of school for being either, lower in the test scores or apparently pregnant, right? I didn't catch that whole deal. And watching it again,
about American politics.
It's about politics, and but the education system is broken, And I really love the thing of like the relationship between Mark and his dad, and how like his dad forced him to move out there, and nobody understands him, and they don't communicate, and the school is bad, and my dad's a phony. But in the end, the dad is the one who comes in and starts to make it right again. And I really like the redeeming quality of the dad at the end, where he fires Loretta Cresswood, as his son is being arrested for, let's be honest, blowing the whistle on this whole thing. So there was some cool stuff in it, and I think that whilst it's 30 years old, some of the themes of the dialogue and the conversations that his radio guy had, with people on the phone was like relevant,
very relevant,
really relevant, good stuff. Yeah. And so, and the final thing I'll say, the thing I liked about it, it's got such a kicking soundtrack, and so many of the songs from it. I remember discovering so much great music from it. That title track, Everybody Knows. I don't know, it just really, it got me in the 90s. I loved it.
It's interesting though, because it's 1990, so there's a lot of 80s hangover in there still, particularly with the music. It was like,
yeah, or late 80s, early 90s rap, where it's all a bit like, and then you do the thing where we do the thing. Yeah, everybody's doing everything. It's California and we're angry. Everybody's cool, right? 90s, early 90s rap. I rap sometimes. It's no big deal.
I can tell. I think that it's interesting that it really appealed to you, and I think I can imagine that it would appeal to a lot of people because partly because of this sort of dual identity thing, which, like I said, I think is quite superhero adjacent. But I think it's also that thing which it's often attributed to the young and to teenagers, which is that like you're the only person speaking out against, the man, right?
Yeah.
Which is kind of what's going on with this. And I mean, I have to say, like, when I watched that final scene where they're all suddenly speaking out and there's like riots and stuff, and there's like people popping up with their own radio shows and stuff, I was thinking like, I bet a lot of these people probably turned out to be like raging Facebook haters and stuff, because that's the thing about freedom of speech. It's like, it's all very well if it's stuff that agrees with you and then it's groundbreaking and it's against the man and stuff. Yeah. But like, there's probably a lot of stuff that comes out that, we agree with less. But anyway.
Dude, but that was the 90s. You're talking about a time when you didn't have the internet. What did you say? Drip. You had a main vein drip of the internet, right?
Yeah.
Pre-internet, listen to the radio, landlines, a lack of, that before you could have all of the information in the world at your literal fingertips, and yet you'd spend most of the day scrolling through memes, kind of a thing, right? This, I think, in a way, was just captured a time when you just didn't have you didn't have the info at your fingertips. And so, maybe these people eventually turned into trolls on the internet or, all sorts of craziness. But equally, I don't know, maybe they added to the global sort of conversation eventually that at the time did not exist. The 90s.
Well, I this is what I say, like, it's in these films, it's the young people speaking out against the old people very often, isn't it? It's like, we're the young generation and we're angry and we're
suck.
And it's just, I find it so funny, and maybe this is the side of me being at the point now where I'm like turning into like a proper adult,
right.
Which is that I'm just like, it feels like people who are older feel just as passionately as those young people do, and they feel just as much anger against the system. I mean, some of us do, not everyone, but you feel just like I feel just as much anger against the system as those people, but I have too much tied up in accepting the system, and mentally it's important for me to get on with the system, because falling outside of society when you're an adult is very difficult, and it's very challenging, right? So like if you're a young kid and you want to rage against things, that's fine, and you'll get away with it, and your parents will have to maybe be accountable for you. When you're an adult, like, I don't know, it's hard. Like
it's that thing where it's like, I know Amazon is evil, but it's like,
I need stuff.
Next day free delivery, and it's when you're a kid, it's easier to be what some would say irrationally idealistic.
Yeah.
Right? Having said that, at least in this movie, the central thing that they were uprising against was a bad thing, right? When the guy, and I don't remember his name, but like the punk guy who gets kicked out of school and he's lighting those smoke bombs off, right?
Yeah.
When he comes back with a sign that he wants to hang up that just says, "I have a right to an education."
Yeah.
Like, it really, that's a scene that I'd never really noticed when I was younger, but I see that, I'm like, yes, you do have a right to an education, right? These kids, but it reminded me of...
It's the system's responsibility to adapt to the people it has the responsibility to teach. I very firmly believe that.
Well, I totally agree, but I think at the time, and there's some examples I was thinking about, like, watching this movie, and I've learned from, I don't know, let's be honest, probably other podcasts, but like, the damaging effect of No Child Left Behind in America, a policy that put central focus on grade, on testing, as the end all be all. Of a measure of success, and it held a lot of kids back. Or stories about police in the 90s in New York that had quotas of arrests that they had to make, but at the same time they were told to downgrade arrests so that their the scores that they had looked better by neighborhood. When in actual fact, you shouldn't be trying to chase a number. You should be chasing the end goal, right? If you're a police officer, it should be a safer city. And if you're a teacher, I think the goal really should be that kids learn, right? Suck it, Crestwood. You don't understand. And that's why these guys rose up and lit an effigy of you on the baseball field. Yeah,
almost like, so a lot of the films that we have watched are very generic in the sense that they sit within the confines of a genre, right? So like the classic genre conventions that we've seen in these high school movies is there's a bit where they introduce all the tables at the lunchroom, and there's the mean girls, and there's the nerds, and there's the jocks, and then these two people get together and there's a prom, right? Those are all genre conventions that we're really familiar with. And this was a 90s high school movie that didn't include any of those genre conventions at all. It totally subverted those conventions, and it didn't just do that in terms of like, this is what happens in the film. It also did it in the sense that the way it was structured, it didn't build up towards a specific kind of like time-based crescendo. It kind of like, would you say this happened over a couple of days or over a couple of weeks? It's hard to tell. And it was also really focused on one person and his sort of output into the world, rather than a series of people all functioning together. So that made it very interesting, and this way that you had one person just kind of constantly talking about his experience, and it's almost like his diary, isn't it? It's his diary into the world. Gave it this really kind of unusual feeling, I thought. And it was able to go into those deeper themes because it was about ideas far more than about, character action or character relationships or anything like that.
Totally. It's a really weird deviation from the norm. This one for me felt really safe because it's like, we're back in high school. I see
Yeah.
lockers. I see the drinking fountain. I see classes. I feel the angst. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's so much angst in this movie. It hits you in the face like someone spraying you with a hose. You know what I mean? It's like, we get it, Christian Slater. You're really not happy.
You're very misunderstood, yes.
Yeah. You
all.
miss back east. Who's not understood? We're all not understood, right? Are you understood?
Yeah. Hell no.
No, exactly, right? And furthermore, you know, it's fine. You can be angry and disturbed, right? We're all disturbed. We're all upset. We're all frustrated. Although, to be fair, some of us are just fine, right?
I think some people are okay. I've never met them, but...
You know, and some days are, you know, sometimes you just wake up and you go, everything's fine. I might go for a walk and take in a beautiful vista. Maybe I'll just pause for a moment in the sunshine and close my eyes and just think about all the things I'm grateful for.
Yeah.
You know? Maybe
Rob Lowe in Parks and Recreation.
Yeah, exactly, right? I'll go sit under that particular tree that I really like, or sit on the third floor below that mural of the sunflowers and, you know, set myself a mental reminder to send a thank you card to my auntie for sending me that lovely picture of a dolphin, right?
And the camera pans out, and then there's a house in the background, right? And the camera slowly zooms in on the window in the top right-hand corner.
Yeah.
And there's two curtains just like gently opening, and in between
For
is
the
my
breeze,
just and my like curled, gnarled fingers like pull open the window, and my old, haggard, tired face looks out and goes, "You must be unhappy, really."
And I'm standing below the window, a la Romeo and Juliet, and what I say is, I'm fine. Aren't you fine?
No, everyone is as unhappy as I am. Nobody is really happy.
I hear you, but that's not accurate, because there are positive things in the world. Don't be so old lady, right? You said haggard, right?
Yes.
You did say haggard, right?
Yeah. I said haggard and old. Yes.
Okay.
Yes. What day is it, boy?
Hey, today is the first day of the rest of your life. Do you feel me?
Yeah, I don't want the rest of my life. It's been pretty sucky so far.
Well, today everything's going to change. I want to tell you about an exciting investment opportunity that you can make, okay?
I don't want to buy anything.
No. You're not going to be buying anything. What you're going to be doing is selling, okay? And one thing I know about this world is that people like quality products. Don't you, old lady?
Well, I don't know. I tend to go for Tesco value rather than Tesco finest.
Listen, I don't want to be a naysayer, but that's where I think you've gone wrong. Let me ask you a question. What's the sharpest knife you have in your house?
I don't know. It's kind of sharp.
Not as sharp as this knife. Here at Sharp Co., we sell knives that can cut
Where
through
is this going,
can
young
cut through
man?
No, trust me. This is no. Hey, all right. I appreciate it. You're a busy lady. You've got things to do. That's fine. Watch me cut through this can, right? And where you can really come into play is that we will work together to sell these knives, and we'll show people that there is, in fact, a bright future.
I don't know that I see how the two are connected, but I'm interested.
You know what? The two are connected because everything in this world is connected, right? Did I just blow your mind?
That sounds kind of weird, but I guess I can consider it. I'll get back to you within 2 to 3 business working days.
That's the standard,
on that one.
Standard amount.
Now I'm going to go back to my hovel and meditate on the terribleness of life.
All right, listen, you can do what you need to do. Oh, I see you're walking away. That's fine. I'll leave my card in the door. I'll just drop it through the letterbox.
I'm gonna go listen to some Evanescence. I'll speak to you later. Thanks for the card. It's a nice eggshell. I like that.
Cool, have fun. Evanescence, have some jams. Bye.
Hey, we have social media accounts. Statistically, so do you. You can find ours on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Plot Twisters Pod. leave us a comment if you dare.
So Emma, how do you want to twist this movie?
I've already got it. We don't even need to talk about it. I already know what it is.
Damn. All right.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. Yes.
So this film is about a pirate radio show.
Right. Hang on. One of two things is going to happen. One of two things is going to happen right now. Either you have such an amazing idea that Hollywood itself is going to call you, and I mean Hollywood the character, right? The city is going to pick up the phone and say, we got to make this movie right now.
Yeah.
Or the second is, it's a joke.
It's a pirate radio show.
So it's a joke.
I've been looking forward to saying that all day, and you just pulled the rug from under my feet. You're like, oh, hey, what's this really nice, fun-looking rug that Emma's standing on? Whoop. It's a pirate radio show, R, written on it, and you just pick it up and you go, oh, this looks interesting, and then you go, whoop, and then I fall on the floor.
No, we can do a pirate radio station if you want to.
Or, avast, it's 7:45, pieces of 8, hey. And today on the pirate radio show, we're talking about scurvy.
And for all you folks out there thinking scurvy's not a big deal, it's a big deal for pirates.
Yeah.
All right. You gotta have your vitamin C on the sea. That's how you remember it. Vitamin C on the sea. Have it.
Yeah.
Or your gums turn black and you die. Hoist the mizzen.
You know what I say to scurvy? Walk the plank.
Yeah.
This sounds like it's going into an ad. Like, I make scurvy walk the plank with these vitamin C supplements, approved by pirates. Or
try Captain Jack's approved vitamin C tablets. One should not take more than 2 doses, and if you're at the high seas, please use as directed. Pieces of 8.
Get ready to rumble. It's the Pirate Sport broadcast.
That's not a...
Because pirates drink rum.
Why would a pirate be hosting like a sports show? Get ready to rumble some boxing right?
That's not the questions I need you to be asking.
All right. How is the question? How can we sell more vitamin C tablets? Because the answer is, it's a pyramid scheme. You got to start at the bottom, and you got to get people to sell. The more you recruit 5 people, you recruit 5 pirates, then they in turn recruit 5 more pirates. And before you know it, you're selling some serious vitamin C, right?
Yeah.
Vitamin C on the sea.
I've got some treasure that I've buried in the beach.
Yep.
If you lend me some more treasure to bury somewhere else on the beach, and I then give a map to someone so they can dig up that treasure, right? But when they've got it, I'll pay you back from the original treasure.
We're going to get so much treasure.
I'm going to get so much treasure. I'm going to end up with all these maps with different things, and then, and then it's all spells out like
doubloons
you're a mug.
Everywhere. Exactly.
It would be drowning in doubloons.
There's going to be gold staffs, rubies. You won't have anywhere to put them. You're going to have bags of diamonds. It's going to be amazing. We're going to be so rich. All because of this pyramid scheme.
Pyramid scheme.
Pyramid scheme.
It doesn't work unless you commit with the voice every time.
All because of this pyramid scheme. Yeah. I'm sending my parrot to the fanciest parrot university money can buy.
I said the pirate radio thing is a joke. I'm actually kind of into it now. So,
yeah.
What do you think? Did you have a smart one, or should we do this?
Well, for the record,
I feel like we have another truly silly one for a while.
Yeah.
So,
for the record, I never have a smart one, but I mean, okay, so it's the same movie, but he's a pirate.
They're all pirates.
They're all they live in a pirate world, and it's not a water world. Yes, it's a regular land-loving world.
Yeah, I mean it could be. So yeah, so there's some technological world building that we've got to get out of the way here.
No, that's fine. Fine. What do pirates do? Or rather, what do you do in a pirate time? You don't have a radio station, but you do have message in bottle, yes?
Oh, I thought you were going to say shanties, and I was about to...
And shanty. But you have shanty, and
but
you have message in bottle.
Yeah, okay, let's go with message in bottle. Yeah.
Right? Okay, so here's an angsty pirate kid, right, who is on a voyage with his pirate dad and crew.
What's the name of the ship?
The Lady Luck.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Ooh, nice. Yeah.
And no, it's called the Happy Harry. It's called Hubert Humphrey High, the boat. Right.
Yep.
So they're all aboard Hubert Humphrey High, the boat, and you've got
the boat. I like it when things have the and then the name of the thing at the end of them. You know, that's always good.
Exactly. Otherwise, you don't know what it is. Right?
Yeah, it's like Bella Italia, the restaurant. McDonald's, the fast food chain.
Fast food chain, exactly. Otherwise, I don't know what McDonald's mean, but when you say food chain, now I understand.
Coca-Cola, the soda. Yeah.
Coca-Cola, the soda. Doritos, the chips.
iPhone, the phone.
The phone. Cadbury's cream egg, the chocolate cream egg.
Yeah.
And of course,
IKEA, the flat pack furniture warehouse shop from Sweden.
Slash showroom.
Slash showroom slash restaurant experience.
Exactly. Yes, exactly.
Yeah. It's good because it's a really big building, so they've got a lot of room to fit that all on.
Yeah.
But you can only see it if you get really close. But it is there. Trust me.
What does this have to do with pirate movies?
Pirate movies. Oh yeah.
Hubert Humphrey High, the boat.
Look, here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Sometimes you have an idea that in its single sentence format is so beautiful and brilliant.
Yeah.
It's a pirate radio film, but it's a pirate radio.
But it's a pirate. Yeah.
That it kind of does all the work for you, you know?
Totally. Why work hard when sometimes things are just in front of you? And I think that it makes total sense. It is a movie about a pirate radio station, but what if it actually was a pirate? No. Let's do this. Let's commit to it. And let's take this all the way out to sea, drop anchor on this biatch, and then find our way back home. And then dig up a big old galleon filled with doubloons. What I'm thinking is this. You're on the boat. You got the teenage angsty pirate kid. His dad, captain of the ship. Captain, Blue Eyes or whatever, right? Captain Blue Eyes. And
surprisingly gentle.
He's a loving pirate with a lot of time for his kids. But they don't care because they're angsty.
Because
right?
angst, yeah.
And so what's happening is pirates...
Oh, I have a thing.
Yeah?
So what do pirates love? Other than gold and pillaging.
Peg legs?
I don't know. I don't think they would probably love them.
The high seas?
The sea, right?
They flippin' love the
right?
sea.
So if a kid, and his dad is a pirate and he loves the sea and the kid has to sail with him, if we were to present him with some kind of love interest, where might that love interest reside to present some conflict?
Okay, this rules. So she's on the land, right?
Yeah.
Right? And he wants to get on the land. But he can't.
I am a land lubber because I want to lub on the land.
And he wants to lub so hard. So he falls in love with this lass or lad or pirate or parrot. He falls in love with a character.
I like this, right? So we've got dad pirate Blue Eyes.
Yeah, Captain Blue Eyes. Captain Blue Eyes. Fiercest, kindest, sweetest captain of all the land.
But
I mean
extremely passionate about being on the sea.
Because we got to be on the sea.
Yep.
Okay.
And then we've got his son, who is called
Little Bluey.
Little Bluey, the cabin boy.
Right,
and
right.
he's falls in love with another guy on the land whose name is... What's the name that you have when you're on the land?
Mr. Soil. Mr.
Soil.
Seed.
John Seed. Johnny Seed.
Johnny Appleseed is what his name is.
Well, I was going to say just Johnny Seed.
All right,
and
Johnny,
the apple is implied.
Yeah. Jonathan Seed, a.k.a.
Jonathan, yeah.
Johnny,
Jonathan A. Seed.
Jonathan A. Seed. He's on the land.
What's his dad do? It must be a polar opposite to pirating in some way.
Does he work for the government? Right?
Sure.
Right.
That's the exact opposite of being a pirate. Yeah.
Because pirates always attack the the ships from the government or whatever. Maybe I don't know, maybe the dad is he's like he's the king or he's the mayor or whatever.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. I know. Yeah. He's the mayor of the town.
Yeah, sure.
So so already there we've got a great.
How do
they meet? Yeah.
How do they meet? Right. And here's what I'm thinking. What if there's a big town fair? It's the 100 or maybe the 400 anniversary of the town being founded, and it's olden times. It's a very old town. It's medieval. It's got winding streets,
Lansville.
stuff, right? Yeah, Lansville, right? Exactly. And so they invite everybody, okay, and I mean everyone, to come and celebrate because it's a big deal, and they even invite all the pirates.
Maybe they want to heal the relationships over time.
Yeah, and I'm wondering if maybe the mayor is actually a nice man, and the pirate, we already know that Blue Eyes
he's lovely.
He's
a lovely guy.
But the kids...
Say what you like about him.
Right? But the kids are so filled with angst and anger that they don't understand that their dads are actually really lovely and progressive people, right?
How about this?
Yeah.
The dads used to be friends when they were at school.
Sure, that makes perfect sense.
And then they drift apart. Get it? Because drift.
Woo.
Drift apart.
Right.
Obviously, water, movement, you get it. And the sons... do pirates go to school? Do they go to the same high school?
I mean, they go to pirate school and also regular school. I'm thinking they go to the same school. Yes.
Maybe he goes, I don't know, maybe he does 3 days a week at regular school and then 2 days a week at pirate school, which is it's extracurricular, but he has some kind of pass because, it's
he goes to high C school, right?
Yeah.
But 2 days a week he's taking an elective course in agriculture for some reason.
Maybe his mum lives on the land, and he because of custody reasons, something like that.
3 days with his dad on the boat and 2 days alternate weekends with his mom on shore. And that's why old Blue Eyes, who's a progressive lovely guy, he hates the land. He hates the land so much because that's where his boy's mom is from.
Yeah.
And he hates that part of him. But that's why old
he
baby
saved up
Blue,
loads of money to buy a new boat, and she took it.
Yeah.
In the divorce. Yeah.
And that's why little Bluey longs to be on shore, because he has that feeling, he feels it because of his mom.
So they are raised to hate each other, and when they're at school they hate each other. And he's Johnny is you're a pirate scum. You come in here and you're all decked out with your big hat with a feather in it and your peg leg and your hook hand, but you're nothing.
You're terrible, you scum.
So they really hate each other and really hostile. But then when, what was his name again? Bluey.
Little Bluey?
Little Bluey is on the boat.
Yeah.
He starts sending out these
pirate radio messages.
Yeah.
In bottles. And they're all just, letters about how sad he is and how he wishes he was on the land, but he can't tell his dad because his dad won't understand. And who finds all those letters?
Johnny A. Seed.
Johnny A. Seed. He finds
Johnny
him.
A. Seed.
And he is our version of the girl from that movie, the Eat Me Beat Me lady, right?
Yeah,
same thing, same thing. And here's little Bluey just sending out his feelings into the world, thinking nobody is listening, but when in actual fact, Johnny's listening. And he's picking them up, and he's just crawling the beaches back and forth trying to find these bottles. And each one of them gives him a little bit more insight into the man that he loves. Each one of them gives him a little bit more of a taste of what the future could be if only they could be together. And they can't.
No.
Or at least they think they can't, because they're divided literally by the shoreline. But it all culminates at the very end in a scene that ties it all together. Emma, why don't you walk us through what happens at the end that just brings it all together?
Oh, that scene where everything just suddenly falls into place and it all makes complete sense.
Yeah.
The one that we've been workshopping for a while together.
Got it. You know what happens.
I know what happens. What happens?
Well, we know that they're all coming together for the 400th anniversary of the town. Okay. Even the pirates.
Yeah.
They all come to the town center, and there's a parade. There's trumpets. There's the tall, those medieval flags that are triangles and not squares, right? They got those.
Yeah.
They have those, and then
let me just check my notes here from what we discussed earlier. It's, the end of the movie. Yeah. So there's obviously a pirate siege.
Oh yeah, pirates got pirate. Pirates go pirate.
Because if there's one thing that pirates gotta do, it's pirate stuff.
They can't help it. They can smell gold. They could smell it, and they're like, we gotta do this. And
there's a big battle.
For sure. Yeah. Big
fighting,
battle.
Cutlasses,
cannons.
You get it.
Yeah.
And then then Johnny is fighting on the side of his family.
Sure.
And he goes up to a pirate and they're fighting, and then all of a sudden hand gets sliced off.
Like in Star Wars?
Yeah, sure. And then cut to, and he's like, oh God, oh my goodness, what's happened? Cut to 2 weeks later, he wakes up in hospital.
Right.
He looks down at his hand. What's that?
Hook hand?
It's a hook hand. And he's like, oh my God. And then in walks Bluey, who's like,
Bluey, yeah.
I guess we're not so different after all.
Fling! And he also has a hook hand.
Yeah.
And do they put their hooks together?
Yeah.
And it's like it's a beautiful.
No, he puts his hook out and he's like, what is this? And then the other one like hooks onto it and like pulls him in, and then they have a kiss.
I love that.
Because it's a romance movie stuff.
It's totally fine. What I like about that is it's a story about two kids who don't understand their parents. They don't understand themselves, and they don't understand the world around them. But what they do understand is, and this is really important, there's more to life than the high seas, right?
Yeah, it's something that we've all got to come to terms with. I so nearly made it through without laughing.
Try it again. You could do it. You could do it without laughing.
Something that we've all got to come to terms with over time is the fact that there is more to life than the high seas.
Yeah. Get back on land, okay? Hey, pirates.
Get back to reality.
Back to land. Back to reality. Hey, pirates out there, and I know you're listening, okay? And or you're reading my message in the bottle. First of all, thanks for picking up the bottle. Second of all, you need to come to terms with this fact. There's more to life than the high seas. Get your butts back on land right this instant, or I will be furious. Okay? Yeah. And furthermore, if your kid wants to live on the land, let him live on the land. Do you know why? Because if you don't, you're not really communicating. And secondly, he's gonna just keep writing those damn messages and throwing them out the ship hole.
Yeah.
Get back to land, pirates.
Yours sincerely.
XOXOXOXO.
P.S. I recently heard about this amazing investment opportunity that I think you'd be really interested in.
3 sides, 3 corners, lots of money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Just depends which end of the pyramid you start at, right? At the top or the bottom. That's what I always say. Anyway.
Yar, it's better to be the tip than the base of the pyramid, my sea scoundrel. Do you want to rate this movie?
Yar! I just wanted to get a really good hearty one in there before we moved away from Pirate Town. Ah, so satisfying.
I would like to know, on a scale of 1 to 5, sticks of blackjack gum. How many sticks of gum would you give the movie? Pump up the volume.
Well, I would give this film 3 sticks of gum.
Nice.
Yar. Because it was very interesting. And I think it would be higher if it was more my cup of tea, but it wasn't. So it's 3.
Nice.
What about you?
I give it 4. This one gets a big old dose of nostalgia for me. I've got fond memories of it. But all in all, I thought it was a pretty good movie. And not for nothing, 30 years later, and it brings up some points that I think are salient today. And if people haven't seen this movie, you should watch it. Although, spoiler alert, it's very hard to find on the internet.
Yeah.
Well, look, we could stay here all day and keep talking about Pump Up the Volume and what we liked and what we didn't like, and whether or not we thought it was about electronic dance music. But you know what? I've got a secret treasure map that I'd love to show you.
Oh.
I don't want to get into it, but ... X equals lots of bloody gold. Am I right?
Lots of bloody gold, yar. That sounds good to me.
You get your pickaxe and I'll get my shovel. Let's go and do this. Yar!
Hey, yo-ho, and all that pirate stuff.
Well, anyway, thanks for listening to this episode of Plot Twisters.
Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts.
We'll see you next time.
War!
Yar! Pirate for goodbye. Oh, I'll make you walk the plank. And then bye.